kicking off season 6, right? That's where we're at. Season 6? Look at me. Kicking off season 6 of the Discover the Difference podcast. And I love that we're kicking this off. Jamie, you and I are set up for success over here.
We are.
Oh my God.
Gabe,
How come I got the
Little one here.
All right, so let's just at the beginning. I always like this in the beginning. Selfishly is the guy who came to you 6 years ago and was like, I think you guys should do a podcast. And Jamie and I started talking and understood the reasoning behind it. But like, it's doing its job. I mean, it really is. The conversations that you guys, last season, I feel like you took even a bigger leap with some of the people you had on the conversations. How's it been going for you guys doing a podcast?
Oh, super fun. I would say, there's just kind of been this transition from, the beginning where it was like, how is this going to work? To this is a lot of fun. And I think it's accomplishing more than what we originally, was originally expected. Really the whole idea in the beginning, and this was, your guys' thought process, and I just kind of came for the ride, but the idea of,
Story of his life.
Little man ride. A little Mike ride. There's nothing wrong with being small. No, but the idea that we're going to really just get curious and ask questions and set that example for our teams internally has really transitioned into this idea of like, how can we learn from and tell the story of all these different really interesting people and grow from it ourselves and also from our audience.
And I mean, we used to say we thought only our moms watched the show, and it's not quite a filter, but what's happening, he used the word curiosity in the explanation. It's almost like a filter. As we're going into discovery meetings with prospective new C3 people, more and more frequently, people who are curious on the other side of the table are finding this and then leaning into it, and you're seeing it kind of come to fruition. So it's kind of helping us learn about who we're seeing across the table, because there's a lot of really interesting personalities that are coming on. It's a pretty diverse group, from military background to leadership coaches to business owners and entrepreneurs, Olympic athletes. So it's really generating this just fun, creative space to be able to have dialogue with people that may end up joining C3, and us getting to use it as a little bit of a journey.
Yeah, and I think in looking at the themes, I mean, there was some three very clear themes in your guests this year. They all ladder up to your story. They all ladder up to who you guys are and what you want your company to be, and the things that matter most to you around, the transitioning from military and intelligence life into civilian. And I know that's something that you guys have really spent a lot of time with. And then, that sort of resilience and longevity of life, and how to really tap into not only what you're capable of, but maybe even beyond that.
That was just me trying to find a way to get my eyebrows back. No, you can't have vitality without eyebrows.
I mean, you've survived a lot, my friend. It's unbelievable.
I'm on like my 6th hairstyle. 6 seasons, 6 hairstyles.
That's for sure. In season, it switches up. It's just whatever the world brings you that week. Yeah.
People thought I dyed it there for a while. I'm like, this is all just what God's plan here, man. I'm just rolling with it.
I mean, from when I met you, gosh, I was doing the math. It's been 12 years since you and I met. My first month in San Diego.
That day-long South Beach. I think I picked you up in my Jeep.
You did pick me up in the Jeep.
You rolled over.
I bet you're sitting in a hotel room eating food out of a container right now by yourself. And I said, you actually nailed it. Great. Picking up tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Bring your liver. And the rest is history.
Did he have hair that back then?
He did. No, he looked completely different. I mean, like, I don't even know how to explain how different. Like, you were
probably not gray hair.
Well, no, definitely not gray. Full head of hair, but also not an entrepreneur at that point. You had visions of where you wanted to go, but you were just working and figuring out life, and you had these grand visions. And then next thing you know, you're like, we're doing it, man. We're really doing it.
They are.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then, I mean, the last group was sort of this entrepreneurial group, right? That lean into reinvention and all the things that, if you think about your careers, but also C3's journey, all three of those are woven into what you try to do every day with your business, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely.
So if you bumped into an episode of your podcast, you're going to get a little fabric of who the heck you guys are, but more importantly, what you're trying to create with the company. And that's pretty cool.
100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think that was Mia's genius in lining it up.
I mean, listen, one of the greatest things you ever did, besides bringing in Quinto, was hiring Mia. Like, do you realize the level of workflow change? I mean, we had some journeys before Mia got here, and I just shout out to Mia.
Stabilizing factor, Mia.
Yes.
Edit this out.
That's a clip if I've never seen one before. But all right, let's dive in. So Mia gave me timetables. I've got to
Stay on track. Stay on track.
All right, so let's start in the first one with that sort of, like the operating high pressure, that retired military. I know this is top of mind for both of you. This is an area I know you're both heavily involved in. Alder, you're involved in different groups that give back to our military community. And you started off with Ralph Goff and Mark Davidson, and they're a little bit different, but the sort of intelligence world.
Yeah. Well, Mark Davidson works for an organization called Concentric, which is one of the largest and most well-known executive protection companies in the world, meaning like they moved Biden in and out of Ukraine right before they took our Alder trip in and out during an active war.
Wow.
And then they also coordinated, we just recently toured the Balkan countries and, from Bosnia to Montenegro and back. So these higher risk areas that they coordinate, and they're a group of people who are a lot like our guests. They're made up of ex-CIA, FBI, special force operators, and have people all over the world. So their perspective, both of them high ranking within the CIA, having spent time in Russia, Ukraine, other areas of the Balkans, the Middle East. The perspective they brought in, you probably remember, but it was a live audience taping. Yes. Even my parents came to it and were just blown away.
That's awesome.
At just how human they were.
Yeah.
And how they just kind of simplified what's happening in the world to fit into a consumable way. So just, I love spending time with those guys. We're actually bringing them down next month to meet with our Alder group and give us another update on what's happening in those parts of the world. But they're just
that's changed since last time we talked.
A lot.
Yeah.
What was really interesting is kind of this common theme of they talked about some of their really cool undercover stories, and like the audience is really enthralled by it. But I think what they leaned into is to be effective was they had to be really curious.
Right.
And both in their jobs when they were not undercover and when they were undercover. And so it's that theme of curiosity just, kind of permeates between, intelligence community to business to, to your life. And I thought that was really interesting to kind of, bring it all back to that.
I did too. And I just saw an outtake clip on an Instagram reel. I don't know if you just put it up or I just saw it cycling through the other day, but the question was one I asked them around women in the CIA and does the U.S. have an advantage? Because women in the U.S. have, more support than other parts of whatever you think it is in the U.S., go to somewhere else in the world and it's not nearly as much. And they answered how women are the superpower of the CIA. Wow. And they expanded on that. And it was just such a cool moment to hear them speak about how important the role is and how much it's changed from what used to be a male-dominated government organization to female playing this just massive role. And in a lot of ways, it mirrored our own industry.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's part of these conversations that, like, when we started this, it was like, what are two insurance guys going to talk about? And it's like, not insurance.
Yeah,
like,
definitely not insurance.
But we're going to talk about all these things and then draw, examples out of that of how to operate our business, how to treat people in our business, how we think about things. And all of these conversations bring lessons out that are like, like I came from the world of sports. Like we use a lot of, plug for my podcast, but like the lessons from sports are so easy, but the lessons from I mean, gosh, the CIA and how they operate, and transitions us over to Joe Lara, which from MARSOC, which we've, gosh, I'm blanking on your friend's name, who Julian, who,
Sukana.
yeah, amazing, who we've spoken at events together, and, he speaks and you're like, gosh, I'm going to talk about like, playing fun videos and lighting off fireworks. He was like getting dropped off into war zones. They were lighting off real fireworks, but like, his experiences, they do translate over to like the way they go through the situation of going through that operational checklist. And you guys in your business, you're dealing with people a lot of times, on the front side, great days, but on the back side, usually a bad day, right? When they're calling you, they need support, and to hit that checklist and to be buttoned up so that you can be the best partner for them on the other end. I mean, I'm sure that was probably a pretty interesting conversation.
I mean, Joe's just an awesome guy. We first met Joe because from season 1 guest, Vaughn Lydevone, brought Joe to do some executive coaching with C3. So we got to experience him. And he just, for a guy that served in the special force support area, just an amazing human being. And through he and Vaughn, they helped us connect with the Honor Foundation. We'll talk about Matt Stevens, who leads that organization in a minute. But that's our relationship to helping special force operators transition, is that organization. And more importantly, I called Joe when you and I got invited to speak. This is a crazy thing. Julian had us come speak to MARSOC. And we're like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, we're bringing all these speakers in and we'd like to invite you guys. We're like, cool, no problem, we're in. And so then, a week before it, I'm like, by the way, who else is speaking? He's like, yeah, you're going on after Elon Musk. And we're like, wait, what? We're like, Elon Musk is speaking of this thing? And we're like, why the heck do you want us there? And he's like, well, they need to hear from real people, like just people that run real businesses, because that's what special force guys have to go do, is interact with those in foreign countries. And so Joe set all that up. And
amazing.
Before we went and did that, I remember calling Joe, like, I'm actually terrified. I've never spoke to a bunch of badass people that are out fighting wars. And so Joe's our guy we always call and say, hey, help us prep here. What do we need to know about this audience? And he always just has the best advice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously in their business, right, you've got to analyze a situation so quickly and be ready to react and put other people in the position to be successful. I mean,
yeah, one of the things that was a tidbit that came out of is like, how do you build trust with the highest level special operators, whether it's Navy SEALs or Green Berets? And that's something that Joe Lara did. And so now he's a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, and he can kind of draw from that experience and like help others just how to, figure out how to build trust.
I mean, if you think about it in our business, that's what we have to, like, when people tell, oh, you're in sales, like, well, yeah, but we're not really, like, you have to build a relationship and a rapport and a trust. Partnerships only last as long as they're mutually beneficial, right? And it comes with trust, and it comes with that relationship. And at that level with people of that, I think the part that I love about the Special Forces group is obviously the physical ability they have is great and it's incredible, but the mental capability is next level. And that, and so to overcome that trust level with them and to get in there quickly, that's a science, really. It's unbelievable.
And
it's a gift.
It's life or death stuff, and they're, it's real.
Doing real things. Yeah.
Well, Matt Stevens, I think, is maybe next here.
He is. Look at that. You can see where I'm going.
He leads Honor Foundation, which literally helps special force members transition to civilian life. And it's an intense group, but we've done a lot of volunteer work, both at C3 and through Alder with Honor Foundation and the Navy SEAL Foundation. They're big swim events they do here in San Diego and in New York. And the number one thing I'm always impressed, and Matt's no exception to the rule, is their level of gratitude is off the charts. Like, you're just there, donating a little time to give back. And these are, the people putting their lives on the line. Their level of gratitude is just off the charts. It's awesome.
Yeah. When I was with the Padres, we used to do a bunch of stuff with special forces, and you would honor all these troops or whatever on the field. And with the special forces, you would never see them. They were just there with their family. Like it was like a very different type of group where there was
There's no light shining on them.
zero, and didn't want it, couldn't have it, whether they wanted it or not. And it was, that time, what mattered most to them was we're home, we're stateside, we want to do something fun with our family. And that's not where our job wasn't about the spotlight. It was about getting the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much so, and such a common theme with them that's a lot of what we try to help them in coaching with. It's time to flip the switch on that, and it's got to be about you now. Shine the light on yourself. They have a really hard time, sort of like me over there, taking praise and wanting to talk about themselves and set themselves up that way. They're not programmed like that. So the Honor Foundation plays such a critical role in helping them through that.
And you guys have set me up with that group as well. And I've gotten the opportunity to meet with a few folks who were in the early stages of their figuring out what was going to be next, right? And I think one of the things that's become so abundantly clear to me is what I see as my role in that conversation is they're sharing experiences and I'm translating it into real life, like civilian life, not real life, but like their life was very real, but like civilian life to go, no, that's exactly what you have to do as a leader inside of an organization. Your CEO makes a decision that you may or may not agree with, but the decision has been made. And now you've got to rally the troops. I mean, we use that, like it's from you guys. Yeah. We've got to rally the troops around this goal. And we're gonna go get it, and we have to go get it, even if you agree or don't agree. The decision's made. Let's go. And they're like, oh, like that light of like, wait, so you guys do that too? Like those conversations, I think, are riveting because you're like,
not that different.
It's not that different, and the difference here is we're not dealing with life and death. We're dealing with business decisions. We are dealing with budget life or death, right, which is very different. But
well, I think that theme on transitioning, it comes. I think the Honor Foundation really does a great job with helping support, basically these men and women that have really sacrificed so much for our country, to help them through these transitions. But then if you think about transitioning as a theme in general, it's like that happens in all of our lives and all of our roles and both personally in our careers. And so learning how to move through transition is something that, that was really, really helpful, just learning their process to help with our own.
Yeah. I mean, look, you look at everybody's career, we've all had those moments, whether it's just starting a new job or starting a new company, which the three of us have done, right? And it's like, that's a big jump. But then you think about these individuals and that jump is completely different because you've been trained one way, and that way, like that part of your life is over. Yep. Like there's no other part of it. It's not like you could decide to, it's over. And you got to kind of figure out, and it's a completely different infrastructure that you're entering. Yeah, it's wild stuff. Well, the next theme is very different. But I know it is something that the two of you take very seriously, and so seriously that coming out of some of this work, you actually went through some of this work.
Yeah, we did.
Like talking about longevity and the resilience and the body and the mind and that journey that you guys, I mean, it became a goal at a focal point of 2025 for you was we're going to do this work and we're going to expand on our knowledge base of what the mind is capable of, what we're capable of, and how we can sort of lock in. Like, let's talk about that for a second, because when you called me with this, you're like, all right, go with me here. I got an idea. I was like, he is just out of his mind, man. But then to go through the work to find out you were actually like,
I was in my mind.
You were in your mind.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How was like? Talk to me about it. So take us through sort of you had the conversation, but then you started to sort of say, this is something I really want to explore.
I think if you zoom out from the guests a little bit, like we knew 2025 was going to be a really intense year. I mean, like all fast growing, just like Quinto, every year's an intense year, right? But this was going to be, one with a special amount of intensity. And so, we've had these guests on like Bettel who are in the vitality space, and then past guests like Dr. Willemeyer, who had impacted us on what could happen through vitality and investing in ourselves. So, Gabe and I both came back from the trip that Mark Davidson helped coordinate to the Balkans. And on the backside of that trip, we gave up alcohol for 5 months, not a drop. We went on the Mediterranean diet. We both lost a ton of weight. We both also simultaneously committed to physical activities we were doing, the whole 9 yards. And what was really amazing to me is taking some of the content from like Robert Owens and Jeremy Bettle and putting it to play. Our team, who saw us go through the most intense times, at the end of it said to us, I don't understand what happened. You guys just went through the most stressful year we've ever seen executives deal with, and you both got younger. And it's just crazy to take some of what we were learning and commit to it.
Yeah.
I felt, I don't know if I'd say 18, but it felt like we rewound the hands of time massively.
Yeah, I think that's what was really interesting is like, even when you're working really hard and you've got so much stuff you're juggling and you're balancing everything in your life, if you really focus on your physical and your mental health, it's like you could take anything on. And I think that's what we discovered in 25 was it was a really intense year and we felt really good at the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it ended with a 3-day race. And, running for 3 days, and it was a huge mental challenge, and I felt really prepared for it, even though it was hard.
Not just running, right? Running through elevation, running through terrain, running through, just some of your photos were just the craziest things I've ever seen. And I see you run in the neighborhood. Like, those who don't know, Gabe and I are neighbors, and I see Gabe out running, but not gonna run 3 days straight running. That was incredible, dude. So impressive.
Yeah, but it was really just a culmination of all these things that we were doing throughout the year.
Yeah.
With the neurofeedback and with the physical health and the no more drinking and our supplements changing and just getting more sleep and all these things together, kind of for me was culminated into this, end of the year race. But really, I didn't even have to do the race. I was just feeling so good.
Yeah.
At the end of it, that I'm like, I got to figure out how to keep this going.
Now, 5 months. Did you go back to alcohol? What's where are you at on it?
I am having alcohol again, but it's sort of like when you do anything and then you step away for a while and come back. I definitely drink fractional now to what I was before. And maybe part of it's because I've lost so much weight and not drinking alcohol. And when you hear those things in college, like, oh, if they give up alcohol, they lose weight, you kind of blow it off, right? But then when you hit your mid 40s, approaching 50, it had just such a massive effect.
Sure.
So now I'm like, I forget a hangover. I can't afford to be dusty,
Right.
let alone the calories. So
That's the problem.
I'm having drinks, but definitely not like before.
Yeah. What about you, Gabe?
I'm pretty much done with alcohol.
Really?
I kind of let Jamie mention, I mean, maybe I'll have, maybe in the last month I've had, 2 glasses of wine.
Okay.
But it's just not interesting anymore. It
Interesting.
doesn't feel good.
Yeah. The perseverance to go through a race like that kind of brings me to where with Max Irving and the work that he's done, this is the highest of highs, national Olympic bronze medal. I mean, done all these amazing things, and to sit down, and I know you guys have interviewed Olympians before, but this one seemed a little different.
I mean, for me, because my kids are so involved in water polo, there were a couple things. One of them is, I mean, he's the first guy at Collar to really play. I mean, there's very few in the whole sport, let alone in the U.S. So that was really cool. But more, Ryder, who works at C3 and brought Max in, had told me this story about how he almost got kicked off the UCLA team, how he had to work through that.
Yeah.
That story was so incredible and inspirational. So hearing him talk through that, oh man, I thought that was the coolest part for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea of overcoming adversity at that level.
Sure.
And being able to perform, as an Olympian, was really neat. But to do that, and we did that live here, and there was just a ton of excitement. We had 2 different clubs join, and the boys there were just so excited to beat be around an Olympian
Yeah.
and somebody that they idolized. But also what was really cool is that going back to this theme of curiosity, he allowed everyone to come in and have a question and interview him.
It's awesome.
And so that's something that I think these kids are never going to forget.
Yeah.
And it was really a gift for myself and for Jamie to watch it and be a part of that.
And he spent, I mean, he must have saved for an extra hour or two afterwards with the kids. If people don't know, I think he's 6'1", which is highly undersized.
Yeah.
When you think about the Serbians and Bosnians who are all like these massive dudes, he's only like 6'1", and he plays on the 4-5 side. That is traditionally where you want a lefty.
Wow.
So you're talking about, you know,
Adversity or
a guy with color that's right-handed, that's only 6'1", that almost didn't even make his college team. Like, for kids to get to hear that story, that's the ultimate, like, perseverance.
Well, I think this year, you know, I think when you guys got exposed to doing it live and the value of the audience and and providing them a value, which is amazing, but then also recording it so that it can become something that is shared, that it's something they can always go back to. I think that's the powerful part of like this type of work is those kids having a bad day go, oh my God, that guy, Max, what was he talking about? Like they can just go to YouTube and be like, oh, I'm going to recenter myself.
that question.
Yeah. Like I'm going to recenter myself around that day because it stuck with me. And I think we think back to like our lives, like what I would give if those moments were recorded. Like I would love to be able to refer back to that in those moments. And like, I really love that you guys have started to do some of the live stuff that you could just do a simple Q&A with some club teams and this Olympian, and that's cool. But the value of that conversation reaches so many more people. It's unbelievable. So you know, he talks about perseverance. In the next grouping of guests, it's in that entrepreneurial world, that reinvention all across the board. First was Dave Albin. So, you know, you bring in Dave. He worked with Tony Robbins, did all the fire walks. I know when you met Dave, you called me like, I just met the most incredible guy.
Yeah. Dave Sanderson, actually, another guest. He introduced us.
Another live guest too.
Yeah, that's right. He was our first live guest. He's amazing. What a great story. He introduced Dave Albin. And Dave's just a guy that's hard to say no to.
Yeah.
You know, and so his interview was one thing, but I got to go to one of his nonprofit give backs for military and police, etc., and listen to him put on this just electric discussion for people. It's called Operation Do No Harm because the suicide rates of veterans is just so high. And so he's looking to take everything he had learned by being somebody on Tony Robbins' inside circle and being able to cast it into that community. And so, I mean, we just took our crew up, right? Your crew actually up and got to witness it. But then it was magical. I mean, we're on this grape farm or almond farm or something up in Fresno, and it's raining. And you open the barn doors, rain, and the fire's in the background, and you get to go walk it. And oh man, it was out of this world.
The rain kept the coals not so hot.
No, Jamie, he's called me with crazy ideas. He's called me very excited. This was another level of through our all the years of friendship. I think we both have like a little bit of inspiration and excitement in our days, and you'll call me and you can just hear it coming through the phone. But this was another level of like unlocked excitement. Yeah, you were just like,
let's giddy up.
Yeah, you're like, this is unbelievable. Like it felt something different.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I can go to Fresno, I'm going. No, only if it's with Dave.
Exactly. And did you walk the Coles game?
No, I didn't make it.
He didn't get invited.
That's why he got the small mic.
Yeah.
Only the firewalker gets.
That's
right. You got to come to the
next
not
one.
that
Cool.
Oh, it's coming up again in May.
Oh yeah, great. There you go.
I'm in.
I mean, you walked across Baja, right? Was that what you did?
Yeah.
All the way.
That's
across
almost like walking across Coles. Yeah. Same.
Now we got to complete the task and do the fire.
I'm in.
All right, unbelievable. Well, so also, this was a fun one for me when you had Sam, the
really
cooking
fun.
guy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
This is where I should have the big mic.
Yeah.
yeah, you dominated that
Yeah,
day.
Gabe kicked my ass.
It was unbelievable.
That's right. I still feel bad about the embarrassment.
I do have to say this little side story because I talk about Jamie calling me. When Gabe lands a good question in a podcast, he'll like reach out and like, hey, make sure you watch this one. I nailed it. Because when we started this, Gabe was like, I don't really know. And Jamie's like, this is going to be great. And then Gabe has like really come into his own of like really working on getting great questions. And, that's an amazing skill to have as a salesperson. But in a podcast, it's everything. And this was another one where like you kind of dominated.
I mean, Gabe definitely goes into every podcast with a motto of trying to get the podcast guest to cry. Like if he can get it teary-eyed or emotional.
Yeah, emotion.
Like the Landon Donovan one. He was
Yeah.
like, I got him.
He got emotional. He got emotional.
You called me on that one.
Yeah, I know.
So which amazing question was it with Sam?
I don't remember.
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
I just know that I didn't use spam in my
It's because he was on fire.
in my sushi, so that helped.
I only used spam in my sushi because I knew he was Jewish, and Gabe, and then Mark Zine, and I was like, well, why didn't we bring spam?
Right? Yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
I was preparing for the Filipinos in the crowd.
I like that. That's
Hey. See?
Cut that.
so like this was a fun one though because Sam's career and Mark, his nephew, was he the one who built the bridge? Amazing.
Yes, he did.
So Sam's career, I mean, he's created this persona and this entire infrastructure around him. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Well, this is another story of persistence because what he had set up to go cut film work to do around cooking got nixed, and it was 9/11, right? The cut it.
Wow.
And so this whole thing he had to go film, I think it was in Asia, the whole thing just pulled from him right out underneath. And so then he pivoted it to, I'm going to teach people how to make amazing food with simple ingredients that exist in their fridge. And he shot in his kitchen. But I didn't know much about Sam the Cooking Guy. I mean, we literally have 2 of his cookbooks at home.
Really?
But I didn't know that much.
We didn't realize that he had millions and millions of
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He's a local guy. I mean, it's unbelievable, but he's like globally known.
And it was crazy because after that, when the podcast went out, I got calls from all these people saying, "Were you with Sam the Cooking Guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Oh my God, I love that guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, tons of people hit me up on that. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, in cutting that intro, I should have been like, and our next guest, who Gabe's never heard of, Sam the Cooking Guy.
I mean, but he is a very well known guy, local guy. I've seen him in like Little Italy, and it's so funny. People are like, oh, that's Sam. I mean, he's got the iconic look. It's so great.
Well, there's only so many people you come around that have the quickness, his wittiness and humor. It's just, so first of all, I mean, he has great business sense. I mean, he was using social media and online marketing light years ahead of everyone else. So his business acumen's off the charts. But that dude, I mean, he roasted the hell out of me like 15, 20 times. I mean, he was just on point in the driest, most subtle ways. And it was just fun to be around.
But this concept of just bringing cooking to the average guy was really cool. And the fact that he calls himself the cooking guy is, very intentional because he would never call himself a chef or use that word because he's like, no, I want to bring this to the regular everyday person.
It brings it down a notch, right? It makes it more relatable. His brand is super relatable, but to your point, the versatility to have this moment ripped away from you and then to pivot it into a new idea, to not quit. It's always like the one extra step that most people wouldn't take are the ones that separate the ones who make it and who don't. And the last one, again, a fun story. I was sitting in my office.
I give you lots of notice on that one.
Hey, are you around? Sure, come on downstairs. Okay, I walk in, hands me a shot of tequila, and he's like, meet Preston. We're doing a podcast. You're on it right now. Let's go. And we drank a lot of tequila that day.
It was fun, man.
It was great.
That was a great day.
Preston's got a really cool story as well. I mean, just decided to do this thing and has just created it on his back. It's like,
Man, I hate even bringing this up in the beginning, but that bottle is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It had been sitting here until 2 weeks ago, and Mark Zine actually had said, "You better take that home and drink it, or I'm going to take it." And then we had something to celebrate, so I did do that. And I say that because it is such a high quality liquor to drink.
It was beautiful.
I mean, it's so beautiful. And talk about a magnetic personality. I mean, Preston's just a dude. You're like, I just want to hang out with that guy and soak up that energy, you know?
It's the magic of being the face of a tequila brand. You kind of have to be that person, right? You have to be that person that when that bottle opens, and I love that, like, you can pour it was like all connected, and you want to, when it opens, whoever opens it, you want it to be somebody who you're like, I can't wait to actually share a drink with this person.
Me too.
And he is that person, and it was pretty electric. That was a fun afternoon. We got pretty far through that bottle, if I remember correctly. It was,
We did. Well, we put a dent in it. Yep.
it was like I still had work to do that afternoon. It was like I was like, thanks, Jamie. See you guys later.
You know what's funny? This is a plug. Go get your Babamos now if you haven't yet. But what was interesting was I told him, I'm like, hey, I can't have any more. I don't want to disrupt my my sleep.
Right.
And he's like, oh, how are you monitoring it? I said, Oura Ring. He's like, all right. I was like, oh, my HRV, my heart rate will go up. He's like, what's your normal heart rate? I said, look, it's somewhere between like 57 and 61 every night. And he's like, if it's over 61, I'll buy you another bottle. And he's like, have another drink. And so I had 2 more.
Okay.
He's kind of hazing you.
I had 2 more. I wake up the next morning. If I have more than 1 drink, my heart rate's always over 61. And my resting heart rate at night, it was 59.
Wow.
It was like dead in the middle.
Did he give you a reason why he knew that? Like,
he said it was so like, and you hear this about all the liquors, about how clean and
pure,
pure and all this whatnot. But if you listen to his episode, I've never heard somebody speak with the passion he did about selecting the not just the farm, but the farmers. All the product that's being created out of it was so intentional.
Yeah.
That's what he said in that moment. But I believe it.
Yeah,
because
it worked.
It showed up. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, season 5 is in the books, and I do love that we do these recaps because it is, I think it sets the intention for the next season, right? Like last year, you can see it kind of framed itself into 3 core message points, which as I said at the beginning, definitely ladder to the 2 of you, but also to C3, like your purpose of giving back and like how important that is, and the connection with the military community here in San Diego, and how you've woven that into all the messaging, but also the entrepreneurial like spirit and the resilience, right? So I can't wait to see what Mia has planned for us this year. Like, no pressure, Mia, because I feel like every year you guys ratchet it up. There's celebrities and there's like people that are just, we come and sit in this room, we're like, damn, that was a pretty cool year. And I think one of the benefits that when taken advantage of running a business like C3 is leveraging that to inspire your entire staff, but to do something like this publicly is the opportunity to inspire the people who do business with you, the people who sit across from you and beyond. So congratulations on getting another season in the books. That is, it's not easy. You guys are busy. Your schedules are crazy. We were just going through Jamie's dad driving Uber schedule and business travel and all the things. And I know you and I are doing that as well, but finding the time and committing the time to ensure, because it is making a difference.
Well, Mia whips us if we don't show up. It's all her.
She was on me.
And maybe season 6 I can get a bigger microphone.
Not if you talk in that voice.
I vote that in season 6, Gabe keeps that microphone, even though this one's available when I'm not here. No, it's great. Thank you guys. Congrats. And
thank you for inspiring it.
Yeah, and the difference, I think a lot of people have discovered why you guys are so different and why C3 is so different. But I think we'll keep that name to keep more people discovering it.
Heck yeah. Cheers.